Welcome. Right, it's another day, and I've been here. When I came, the place was very noisy, so I couldn't record any video to begin with. But I've been coding for 1 hour 36 minutes so far. Let's see. Yep. So 1 hour 36 minutes so far. And what I've actually been doing is working on, so there's this project that I work on as the backend developer on it. There were a few bugs that were reported by the front end team, and I had to go in and fix those ones. There are also some other requests that I needed to work on. So that's what I've been working on for the past 1 hour 32 minutes. And in one of the previous videos, I mentioned that before I learned about Swagger for documentation, which I show you in yesterday's video, because yesterday's project I used Swagger for the documentation. I mentioned that before I started using Swagger, I was mostly doing the documentation by writing it in documents. So here on my screen right now, that's what I have for this particular project. I'll show you soon, but for this particular project, when I started, I didn't know anything about Swagger. So the whole team is working using ClickUp, and so I have a document in ClickUp that is being used to document the API. So everything concerning the various endpoints that I've created and how the front enders can utilize it at their site has to be documented in the ClickUp doc. So that is where I need to update. I've actually done that for today. Let me show you. So not sure what you can see, but this is ClickUp, and I have documented quite a few of the endpoints. So if you can see this is blog endpoint. So it's creating a blog, the request type, the URL, token bearer, and form data. So essentially, I had to add, I was about to say hard code, but yeah, I had to write them down or type them out myself so that the front end devs can easily go into that and use it without necessarily having to reach out to me. But once I found Swagger, I think it's way easier. And yeah, that's how come I've fallen in love with Swagger, and now I'm going to be using it for almost every project that I build. So now I'm going to close a chapter on this and switch over to working on code snippets. And today in particular, I want to fix the bugs that I had some TypeScript bugs yesterday. I want to see if I can finish that and also work on the role-based access control that I started yesterday and see if I can finish that. If not, I think one of the big things that I'm thinking about right now is I know that the authentication service as I have right now is good enough to go with. So there are a few other things that I think are somewhat good to have or nice to have, if I should say. And I may end up building them, but right now, looking at the time that I have, I will have to prioritize some of the things. So, if anything, I would proceed to connecting the front end of the no, sorry, connecting the code base for code snippets to this particular authentication service. So, what I said from the beginning is with the way I'm building this, my focus is building an authentication service that can easily be utilized in different projects of mine. So I separated a code base, but now I need a specific service that I've built to use it in the products that I'm building. So I may have to either copy and paste them in the code base for code snippets. And as I promised you, in subsequent videos, I'm going to definitely walk you through what I'm building. But for now, let me keep coding. See you. So it's currently 1:29 p.m. and even though I'm not feeling tired, I need to go sleep because I have a couple of meetings tomorrow In fact, yesterday I didn't sleep early, and if you've watched the previous video, you'd have seen the time that I slept, and I ended up oversleeping and missing an important meeting today. So I don't want that same thing to happen again. For that reason, I'm going to sleep right now so that I can wake up tomorrow and continue. But what I've been able to do so far is I've been able to try wrapping up with the authentication service. Unfortunately, I still have not fixed all the TypeScript error. There are two particular errors that I had to comment out to proceed. So I may have to get back to it after some time. But for now, my focus is on trying to set up the code snippets API to connect it with the authentication service so that we can easily test all of these things out, because I'm building them in isolation, and I've already explained why I did that so that I can easily use the code base for other things. But now I need to put the code base together and test them together. And previously I had already coded the code snippets API where you can create code snippets, you can delete, you can update, you can do all those basic things. But now that I'm bringing in the authentication service, there are a few changes that I need to do. And also, even for the code snippet itself, if you store a snippet, it should be easy to identify that snippet so that anytime you want to retrieve it, there is, if you are using, for instance, the CLI, so you're using a command line, there should be like an easy way for you to call that snippet. And I've already built the CLI tool, but I'll still need to make some changes to it because I just thought about it. I had a brainstorming session with ChatGPT to discuss like what are the possible means that I should handle that. There are several ways that I can handle it. For instance, I'm using MongoDB for the database, so I could use the ID for the database as a unique identifier, but trust me, the ID is messy. ID from MongoDB is always very long and messy, and I'm wondering if anybody would feel comfortable using that, because they will always have to go and copy it from wherever we display the ID, and I don't think that's the most perfect way to handle this. And for that reason, I was looking for an alternative way where we can make it possibly memorable but at least easy to access. And also I'm still thinking through it, and for that reason I had to write a utility function or helper function that would be used to generate a unique ID for each snippet that is stored in the database. So before we store anything in the database, we are going to generate a unique ID, and that unique ID will serve us the ID that we're going to use to identify the snippet anytime that we want to use it. So that's the progress so far, and I've created the controller functions, the routes, everything is ready. It's now left for me to integrate the authentication service with the code base that I have, then test them all out to make sure that only people who are logged in can have access to certain features, and those who are not logged into, I have to scope it so that those who are not logged in, like, we know exactly what they can have access to and what they cannot have access to. For instance, if you want to create a snippet, you need to be logged in to be able to create a snippet. So all of that, I need to figure it out. I mean, I've thought about it, I know exactly how I'm going to implement it. So I now need to bring in the authentication and write all the necessary middlewares to handle that. But as it stands now, I need to go get some sleep so that tomorrow I will be able to wake up early, hopefully. In fact, we are in a new day already, so just going to get some sleep and waking up to continue work. I'll keep you posted if anything, and hopefully my biggest hope is to be able to continue recording the daily progress and sharing with you all what the process has been and how life in general has been. Let me know in the comments what you think about these sort of videos. Do you like them? Is there anything else that you would want to hear about or want me to do? and I'm always happy to show you what I'm working on. But unfortunately, because we are working on back end, hardly do you get to appreciate anything except the code. So on my screen right now, if you can see my screen, like you can see that there's this red showing that there is some error. So those are the TypeScript errors that I'm facing right now, and I need to get it fixed when I get back. But so far everything is working fine, so hopefully I get to fix these things tomorrow. So tomorrow evening I'll catch you all in another video like this. Thank you for watching, and catch you later. Bye.